everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Habitual. This is part 2 of Being in the Goo, my episode with Kass. And I'm just doing an intro. I'm just editing the episode now and wanted to give a little bit of an intro before just jumping right into it. So this is part 2. If you haven't listened to part 1, definitely go ahead and give that a listen. And I hope that you enjoy part 2. We go into it a little bit more, and also I think there's a lot more laughs in this one because we ended up talking for 2 hours. So anyways, happy Wednesday. I hope that you enjoy the episode, and
Yeah. No, I agree 100%. And I have been fortunate enough to always have found friendships that are like that. And I also admire you and your friend group's friendships. I I was driving one time in the car and I started recording myself for my own little podcast that I don't have.
Yep.
Yeah, and I was going off about, like, how I love your guys' friendship and the community that you build within it, and, like, how you guys are just so empowering and hold each other accountable, but also support each other in everything, and I was like, "That's how I wanna be within a friend group, and that's how it
Mm-hmm.
should be." But a lot of people try to chameleonize themselves in terms of who they're friends with and
So
don't
true.
hold on to who they truly are. You can, like, be in a friendship with somebody and adopt a lot of their traits and, their lingo and whatever,
Yeah.
but also, like, you have to know who you are, and I feel like a lot of people struggle with that because they don't know who they are,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
100%. And especially when it's something that you a friendship is on the line.
Mhm.
And it's like, well, I just want to have people in my circle and people in my corner. And I really hear what you mean about that. And individuality is just so important. That's also how you attract the genuine and the authentic and the for life type people, because you can't pretend to be someone else and then or pretend to put on this face or whatever, this facade, and then expect someone to then want to be in your life for forever if they don't even really know the real you. And yeah, it's scary and very, very scary to have people see certain parts of you that maybe you're like, oof, I wanted to keep that one maybe locked away, or maybe that was, I only want to be the only one who's seen that side of myself. But that is how real friendships are built. I think all of my friends have probably seen me at my absolute lowest. All of them. And
And they stayed.
they stayed. And also sometimes they were like, "Hey, the fuck are you doing?" I was like,
Right.
"Guys, what the fuck am I doing? You're so right. You're so right." Holding your friends accountable is just so important, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
But also being loving. It's like you do it in a loving way of being like, "Hey, maybe don't be like that." Or maybe not, okay, not be like that. Be like, "Hey, maybe don't do that." Or "Hey, when you act like that, this is actually kind of how it can come off, or how you're hurting other people, or blah 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 blah."
Yeah.
But you say it from a loving place, and I love you so much anyways,
Yeah, you
regardless,
gotta know
in
your
spite of.
audience
Yeah.
when you dish
Yes.
out that truth and that
Yeah.
because sometimes even, like, friends, if you depending on the role you play within your friendship, sometimes people will come to you and ask you how to dish out that truth to others.
Mhm. Mhm.
That's just the reality of it too. I deal with that a lot. Because
Yeah.
I'm the therapist. So and I'm also the dad.
You feel like you're the dad?
I'm the dad for sure.
That's so interesting.
Of at least of my high school friend group, I'm the dad.
Yeah, we did
I, like, walk in the back of the group to make sure that everybody's protected, and, like, I sit in the front seat of the car if I'm not driving. I'm the dad.
see, I don't know what I am. I feel like I'm the mom, but I also am don't. I feel like I'm just the oldest sister because I've always been the oldest sister. I feel like that's just but also, I don't know. It's really hard. We did a thing where we were like, "Are you baby, mommy, Okay.
Pardon?
Are you like, are you the
Mother?
baby?
Mother!
Mother!
Slay the house,
Boots down. Are you baby, like mom or like dad or like uncle? Like, I don't know, all the things.
Oh,
And I don't really remember, but I feel like I'm mom. I plan a lot, and
right.
I know this weekend wasn't a great example of that, but I usually am the one that's in the
Girl, been there. See
was
that.
there.
Was there. Still here.
Right.
Now
Right.
now we're just referencing brain rot. Anyways, yeah, I mean, no, I think I could see you. You're the mom. I don't know actually. In our friendship and our hold on. Our trio, I was gonna say threesome. Our threesome with Christine. No, our trio with Christine. You're definitely the mom.
Yeah.
Yeah, for
Mhm.
sure. 100%.
Do you feel like you're the dad still?
No, not in that sense. I think in that sense, I'm giving like I don't think I'm immediate family. I think I I think I'm giving sister-in-law, I'm not kidding.
Well,
I think I'm like the cousin that like you're pretty much my mom.
like I like
Like
because
I'm
of
just
like
over
legal
at your
things, I've like basically adopted you.
yeah. Yeah. Literally.
We don't really speak about it, but
No,
it's just
okay.
yeah, you know.
Anyways,
Yeah, I'm gonna have a field day with editing this because I have like no idea what I like. We
it's
have
just
talked
all
about
bloopers.
we've
No episode, just all bloopers.
we've talked about like 100 different things, which is like that's I
What's
mean
a
that's the
girl to
point.
do?
That's the
Guys,
point.
we're just goop. We're just so sporadic. We're swimming in our own goop.
We're
You should
literally
loop it back around.
yeah. So goo, and you're contained by it,
Yeah.
and you're just sitting in it, and you aren't even you though because well.
How does that work? We're gonna have to look that up. Is there still a physical
No,
body? It's
no,
just
it's just goo.
enzyme goop?
I don't know, but now the only thing that I can think in my head is, do you think
Abortions?
you
That's where I went. Is it
No!
even a caterpillar
No.
anymore?
Mine was, you think you just fell out of a coconut tree?
Well,
Not not abortions. You
legal in
exist in
California,
the
by the way.
context of all that came before you.
I am a mosaic of all. Wow, hold on, that wasn't the word.
No, yeah,
I
it
added an
was.
A there. I am a mosaic of
Oh,
all
you
people
said
who have
sorry.
come before me.
I didn't realize you said a mosaica.
I didn't either. Then I did after I said it.
But I mean, also like to speak on that, that's so true, and I really feel that way.
Yeah, 100%.
Like I do everything that I do because of the people that have been in my life for my whole everything, any part of it.
Yeah. And as you're creating this mosaic that is your life
Mhm.
and bits and pieces of the people who have influenced you along the way, while you're making it, it's just going to look like smashed up glass at first. And in the end, it's going to create a picture. You just have to take the time to put the pieces together.
Dude, yeah. I didn't even think about it like that.
Yeah.
Spitting facts. No, but, like, I'm serious. Like, I've heard that quote so many times, and I'm like, yeah, I literally am. Like, I do this because of this person, and blah, blah, blah. But, like, yeah, it's not going to look like that at first. There is a period. There is a time.
Yeah.
There's a process.
And not everybody is going to see the vision. Okay?
Mhm.
Especially not in the process. Not everybody's going to love your art. Not everybody needs to
Ugh.
be a part of that
Yeah.
mosaic either.
Not everyone needs to like you. I struggle with that one a lot. Okay. Personal therapy session for Haley. Hey, actually, I've had a hard time with that one. But I mean, I do. But I also like tell myself all the time, and I feel like doing a podcast is such exposure therapy because I'm like, I guarantee there are people that listen to it and are like, this
Next.
is
Beep,
not,
boop.
yeah, this isn't it. And that's fine. It's fine. No, but it is.
It
Because
is fine.
also the audience, like what we were talking about earlier about like being like being authentic to yourself and like being you, like that's how you also find an audience that like is going to connect with you and actually like wants to be there with you, and not just an audience in the sense of like content or anything like that, but like also just like in life, like an audience and like a like people that want to support you and be there and like build your community, your life community, your community in life. Yeah, I don't know. That sounds weird. But anyways, like yeah. So
When
by being you. What?
when you
Sorry. What?
when you so sorry. Go ahead.
Have you ever had a dream? Okay.
We'll take a break for a second and get some water because we're tweaking.
I'm really like
We've lost the plot.
we
Everybody
have
lock
lost the
back in.
plot.
Everybody lock back in. You were saying?
Read an hour.
Well, we're cutting out probably a lot of
I
it.
know.
So
It's
part
okay.
2 coming soon, guys.
Well, honestly, we can do a part 1 and a part 2. That would make my life easier. Oh, being original and being authentic to who you are and like really just being loud and proud about you and what you do and the things that you do in life and the decisions that you make, and the person that you want to be will attract the people that will love that person and that will love you. And that also goes into like, and the people that don't like that, like those are not people that you want in your corner anyways. And those aren't people that you should value their opinion, honestly, because I don't know. I feel like I have a hard time like wanting people to like me. But then I also get so wrapped up around like people's perception of me that it's like at the end of the day, like I literally I wouldn't respect their opinion on like anything else.
Mm. Mm.
So then like why do I care what their opinion is of me?
Right. And also, let me put things into perspective for you guys really quickly. Every single person that you know has a different perception of you. No two perceptions are probably even
Remotely.
the same. So realistically, in your world, because everybody is living in their own world where they are the main character and they're what matters and they're only worried about themselves,
Mm-hmm.
well, for the most part. So why are you worried about what they're thinking of you? You have no idea what they're thinking of you, and everybody is always going to tell you what you want to hear, too. So you're never truly going to know what somebody's perception of you is. Haley's perception of me is so far and beyond different than some random person that sees me walking down the street. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So really the only perception of yourself that you should be wholeheartedly concerned about is your own. Because that is, in your world, that is the only perception that even matters. That is true. Because that's who you actually are. Everybody is only going to take, the interactions that they've had with you previously. Like, they don't know what even if you tell them what you're going through, they're never going to truly understand that and truly understand who you are and all the things that have made you into the person you are today. Because they've also been through their own stuff that has altered how they see the world and how they feel about themselves and how they intake information too. So, of course, it's important, like, if it's important to you how the people who are close to you perceive you, as long as they perceive you in a good way and you
Mm-hmm.
feel like they perceive who you truly are, that's all that really matters.
100%. That was literally, yeah. Mic drop. Oh,
throw it across the fucking room. I don't know if that made any
no,
sense,
it
but
100%,
that's
no,
the tea.
it 100% made sense. And the only perception that matters is the one that you have of yourself. And it's also really hard. And this can loop right back into like this transition period, because in my personal experience, like that's what this whole journey was. This whole transition out of college was like me figuring out what even is my perception of myself. And then also believing it, like figuring it out and then believing it and being like, no, like I'm a good person because I know that I'm a good person. And
Mm-hmm.
I know that I'm a good person, and maybe I've made mistakes, but all good people make mistakes. And just because I've made a mistake doesn't mean I'm not a good person. But then like thinking of that is one thing, but then like believing it, like it takes time. Like it's so much easier said than done. But like when you really put in that effort and that time to create a more solid self-conception and yeah, perception of yourself, it's so worth it, because then you also have something to like fall back on. Like no matter what happens in life, like no matter if you do make a mistake or if you do make the wrong choice or something like that, like you can always fall back on like, I know that this is true of myself. And I think I also really enjoy, there's um like an artist that I follow on Instagram. I think it's like Chick Feast. I don't know. I love her. But, and she has shirts. She sells shirts that say, and I always think about it, but like, you don't tell me about me, I tell you about me.
Mm.
And it's like, yeah, like no one can tell you about yourself because it's just their perception of you. I mean, obviously the good things, those are true. Like, right. Like that's like, don't like listen to when people are complimenting you and telling you great things about yourself. You should 100% listen to that. But it's also like, yeah, like you get to tell people who you are, and you get to tell people um about yourself. And that usually comes from that self-concept and what you believe to be true about yourself. And also, if you actually wholeheartedly believe it, most likely every other person will also believe it.
Yeah.
Like if it's like a fake conception or like not rooted and not something that you wholeheartedly believe, then like you're gonna have a hard time convincing other people that it's true. But like once you embody that shit and then you go out and be like, this is the type of person that I am, everyone is gonna be like, oh, yes, they are. That's the type of person that they are, because it's believable and it's convincing when it's true.
Right. 100%. And when I was in school, we did a little exercise in one of my psychology courses because, obviously mental health is very real. And a lot of the time, your own perception of yourself can be very skewed. And if you do struggle with mental health, a lot of the time are going to first look at the worst things about yourself.
Real.
So we did an exercise where we took a bunch of like personality traits, like this whole big list. It was like 5 different columns with like however many, 100 different personality choices. And you went through and you picked 10 that you thought described you. And then you sent it to one of your family members or your friends, somebody who you truly trust, who you think knows you, and you had them pick out 10 of their own. And it was just really interesting to see which of those traits showed up in other people's lives and how I serve them in their life.
Mm.
And it really made me think about that too, and how they perceive me within their life. And a lot of them were the same, but a lot of them I was like, oh, I've never looked at myself in that way.
Mm-hmm.
And that might have been because I was looking at the worst in myself in terms of that, or just because, like, I don't do those things necessarily for myself as opposed to the way I interact with my friends. Because a lot of the time people will say, like, give the same love you give to your friends to yourself because you are going to show up as your best self for others when you may not show up as the most kind or nice person for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was just really interesting to see their perceptions of me in terms of that and how different or similar they were to my own perception of myself. And it also opened up a conversation, not to be like, oh, be egotistical and go ask your friends, hey, what do you think about me?
Yeah.
Like, like, don't, I mean, you could. If
What
you
did
really
you
wanted to.
think the first time you
What's
saw me?
What is, name 10 things you love about me.
Right now.
Ready to go. I mean, actually, I made everybody do that for my birthday. We went around the table and I made them all name something that they love about me, which is like not really like me, but
it was so
it was
fun.
fun.
And also, it was family. So it was like, it wasn't like you're like, hey, I've been back. Like,
it made it truly, it started out as a joke, but it made me feel loved and appreciated and be like, oh, wow, like,
yeah. And it gave all of us like a intentional time to sit there and like think about what we wanted to say to you and then say things that maybe we don't say to you very frequently.
yeah, especially my brothers.
Yeah.
We don't talk about stuff like that.
And it was so cute.
Guys, we don't even text. I'm not gonna lie. I text
Yeah.
my brothers like maybe once a year. So being away from them, it was like, I'll see you guys when I come home.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Proud of you guys. Love you. But yeah.
I wrote a haiku. She asked for a haiku, actually.
She wanted
And
to
I
write a
did.
poem, but she had too many ideas.
So I wrote a
We
haiku.
settled for a haiku.
It's never making it out of the notes app.
Thank God.
Yeah. That can stay there.
Beach babe with
Yeah.
blue eyes.
Almost verbatim.
Oh,
Yeah. But
anyway.
yeah, I think that's a really important thing to note. Is because you're right. I think that I'm coming from this as like I had been through that. I've been through a very transformative period, and I feel like can be on the other side of it. But like when you are in that, it can be really hard to, see anything besides the negatives. I think it can be really easy, actually. And like you said, especially when you're struggling with mental health, like when I was incredibly having like the worst anxiety of my life and also struggling with like OCD bouts. I don't know what you'd want to call it, episodes. I don't know. Panic attacks, all that. It was so hard to see myself as anything but someone who is anxious all the time and having panic attacks. That was like, well, it's what I'm experiencing every day.
That's your reality.
Yeah.
In that moment.
Yeah. And it's like, how do you get out of that? And I guess I'm trying to like recall what helped me the most, but I think that genuinely, and I know it's not the same for everyone, but like writing is so important to me. And I think that making lists about the things that I love about myself and the things that I love about life and the things that like I just love, like the pleasure list that I talked about. But then also things that I love about myself and like making that list as well because I love lists.
She loves lists, ladies and gentlemen.
The amount of times I'm like, Kass, have you made a list?
Yeah. Hey, how about you wait? What if you made a list?
Crazy concept.
And I think right, like I personally, not a list person. I am gonna run it through my head a trillion and bajillion times and think about like every scenario, which I usually end up spiraling. So I don't really recommend that. But
writing helps that. It does, because then it like puts it all in one place, and then it's like, and then
I don't think everything could fit in one place. I think I'd like get so overwhelmed and crumple it up and throw it away.
But hey, that's also fine.
Rip it from the roots.
That's also fine, because then you do that. It can be helpful. I'm just saying. Sometimes I also sit down and I'm like, I don't have anything to write, but then I just do it anyways, and I'm shocked by what comes out.
Yeah.
Helps me make sense of things.
Different for everyone. 100%. And I am very much somebody who I have to experience it in order to learn from it, right? So for me, working indoors with kids, 9 to 5, 8 to 6, like every day of the week, and not having the opportunity to be around other people, my friends and my family, because they were all living their own lives, doing their own thing on their own schedules that just didn't necessarily align all of the time. It made me realize, hey, when I'm looking for my next job, what do I want? I want to work outdoors. Maybe I want to have a flexible schedule. I know my worth. I know what I can bring to the table. I know what I offer. I know what I probably should be getting paid for that.
Mhm.
Never, if you are trying to better yourself in terms of your job, never go backwards. I'm struggling with that right now just because being home and being unemployed and needing to pay bills because I'm still paying for my rent in Oklahoma, which, like, guys, everybody pray for me.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get something to take my leave and everybody's on some BS. But anyways, I have the opportunity to go back and work at a job that I previously had, but I don't want to take a step back as opposed to taking a step forward. And sometimes you
Yeah.
do have to take steps back to take a step forward. But having gone through all of this, I know that I have so much more to offer and
Mm.
I deserve so much more and a job that is fulfilling to me.
Mhm.
And yes, of course, right now it's holding me back from. I did apply and I had an interview somewhere, and I'm really hoping that that works out, but also so stressful to be patient. Be
So
patient
real.
and wait for the things that are meant for you while also being proactive in your life.
Yes. Because you can't expect yeah. You gotta make steps and you gotta make moves, but also trust that, yeah, what's meant for you will find you, and it's not easy, but also if it was easy, then everyone would do it.
Okay. So now what do I want? What do I want out of a job? Now that I've tried everything, I'm still seeking that fulfillment, which is what you should absolutely be doing in your life. And when you're searching for a job and when you're feel like you're not at your lowest, but like at your lowest point and in such a stressful situation, seek out what brings you fulfillment, what re-grounds you, and go after what you want.
Mic drop.
And that's all I got to. Um,
But yeah.
Always seek out what is fulfilling to you. My parents always say, I'm sure you've heard this all the time, but if you love what you do, you will never work a day in your life.
Yes, I literally love that quote so much.
And so that's what I'm trying to seek out, and that's what I'm trying to find, and trial and error. And I'm learning about myself as I'm going.
Mhm.
And yes, I'm having stressful times, but you know what I'm doing? I'm going outside and I'm remembering how small I am within this world. How what I'm doing right now, everybody else is worried about their own self.
Mhm.
Nobody's worried about what I'm doing.
Nope.
I can do whatever I want.
You can literally do whatever you want. And guess what? It's not that deep.
And if I find something that's fulfilling to me and I'm enjoying what I'm doing, people are going to support me in that.
Mhm.
And they're going to be like, "Oh my gosh, I wish that I loved my life as much as you love yours."
Yep.
That also comes with having a mindset of gratitude, having a gratitude attitude, as they used to tell us
Gratitude
in
attitude.
our whatever class. But having a gratitude attitude and just taking every day as it comes and like, oh my gosh, it is stressful, but it is really not that deep ever.
Mhm. Yeah, and it's like to put like, you can put it into perspective, like, not that, like, that you should compare, but it's like, okay, well, yeah, this thing's really stressful and, like, yeah, I might not know what the next step is, but I'm surrounded by people that care about me and, like, I like who I am, and I love where I live, and, like, there's so many like, it's like, okay, like, this one little area isn't quite fully figured out, but you can have so much gratitude for all the other areas in your life, it's also easier to be like, I think it's gonna be okay. Just a
Yeah.
girl who's gonna be okay.
I'm just you're listen, you're gonna be okay.
Yeah.
I'm letting you know right now, you're gonna be okay. As human beings, our bodies are always trying to seek stability and comfort. And honestly, as a track athlete, when you would get nervous or whatever for a meet, my coach would just tell me that is your body preparing yourself to do something that it's never done before in its life. Because it's an unfamiliar feeling, but that doesn't mean it has to be a scary feeling either.
Mm,
It can be you can reframe your brain and view that as an exciting thing as opposed to a scary thing. It's just how you approach it and how you view it.
yeah, I love that.
And that's how I'm trying to go about this. I am trying to be so freaking optimistic in this
Convince.
transition, guys.
And that's all you can do, and I guarantee in however many months or however much time, whatever, like, it's gonna pass, like, you're going to look back on it and be like, "That's why everything worked out the way it was.
Yes,
Why
that
it
is
did."
another thing that I have heard recently that I really liked is that when things go wrong, you just tell yourself, I can't wait to see why this didn't work out
Mhm. Yeah.
because a better thing is coming to you.
Mhm.
Generally.
Yeah. When I quit my job to work a different job and then I didn't get that job, but I didn't wait to hear back about that job. I just quit my current job. Yeah, that was crazy. And then guess what? That's when I was unemployed for 4 months and I was unemployed for 4 months and I was like, "What am I gonna do? I can't believe that didn't work out." And this is like really stressful. But then I ended up getting my first ever like real big girl job after that. And having that entire summer to literally learn so much about myself and do a lot of inner work. And then same thing, just in the job on the job front of I interviewed for another position before my current position and I was the like made it to the top 2 candidates, and I didn't get it, and it was, like, same type of thing, it was an environmental nonprofit, I was so excited, I was like, "Oh my god." Like, it's like it was super close to me, I was like, "This is like, this has to like, this is gonna work out because this is, like, the best opportunity ever." And then I didn't get it, and I was like, "Okay, like, there just has to be something better. There just has to be something that is for me." That's just better for me out there. And then literally like 2 weeks later, my job at Pepperwood was opened
Hmm.
up and I applied and then I got it. And I was like, "Oh my god." And I love working at Pepperwood so much and it's such a beautiful community and I'm so grateful for it. And not to say that I wouldn't have had that at the other job, but like it just yeah, I can't imagine if my life didn't go the way that it went. And I can probably pretty wholeheartedly say that I'm happier now than I would have been if I had that original job, which is crazy. Because you never know what's around the corner. You literally don't know, and it's not for you to know because that would ruin the whole thing. But you just have to, like, hope. Hope and trust and make
Pixie dust.
moves.
Oh.
What'd you say?
Hope, trust, and
Oh,
pixie dust.
hope, trust,
It's
and
faith.
pixie dust.
Faith, trust, and pixie dust.
There you go.
No, make moves. Yeah, make moves. I'm honestly at this point, guys, I am struggling also in this point in my life with like the whole expectation thing. And honestly, never deciding between manifesting my reality,
Mm.
speaking it into existence, and also never let them know your next move. This is what I am struggling with right now because I feel like I'm telling these people, "Oh, yes, I they're asking me," right? Now I'm kind of finding like, "Oh, I'm making moves towards what I want." But also then it's "Oh my gosh, that's so exciting." And then every time you see them, they're asking you about it. You're like, "No, no, no. I mean, don't know, haven't heard back." Or
Yeah.
like my whole leasing situations, my parents every single day. "Did you hear?" "No." And it's just,
No, not yet.
sometimes not everybody needs to know what you're doing.
So
They
true.
just see it when it happens, and they'll be
Mhm.
proud of you when they do.
Mhm.
So, you don't have to share it with everybody. It's okay to keep things to yourself and for yourself until
Yeah.
they work out, until you feel comfortable with sharing that with others. So just keep that in
100%.
mind too.
I didn't tell, like, anyone I was starting a podcast.
Right.
But I also just
And
yeah,
well,
I didn't want other people's opinions
yeah.
yet. Like, I was like, "This is just for me for right now." And I need to figure out how I feel about this and all the things that, like, I need to figure out first. And then once that feels good, then I can go ahead and share it with others. But, like, yeah, I think certain things can just be yours. Because then it's like, you don't need there are just certain things that other people don't need to speak on. You don't need to add their expectations into the mix or their questions. God, it's so fucking annoying when that happens. It's like literally the worst thing ever. And you're like, oh my God, I literally like, hey, not sure.
Hey, you're actually stressing me out by asking me.
Hey,
Don't do
actually, I regret telling you that, so can you just forget it? Thanks. Thank you. Yeah,
That's enough out of you.
pipe down.
Pipe down.
Wait, what does your dad say? Settle down, Seabiscuit.
Wrap it up. Yeah, you guys say that.
Getting some Junior Sonic quotes in here. Okay.
I don't know what we just talked about for an hour and a half.
Everything.
Everything and
We
anything.
actually talked about everything.
Sorry, guys. I didn't know this was my diary now.
Okay.
Okay.
We talked about a lot. We said a lot.
A lot was said.
A lot was said.
I feel like some good. I hope it hit home with a lot of you.
I feel like there were some good
And
chunks in there.
I,
Do you have anything you want to promote?
yeah, guys, I'm looking for a job. No, 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 no. I'm kidding. I'm promoting myself. I stand up and start strutting around. I'm like, woo! How much money per hour? No. Anyways. Oh.
Yeah,
No.
promote to my like 30 followers.
Hey, any of you out there? Let me know. No. Although, guys, one time, if you follow my TikTok, Kass_Sani, KASS_SANI, I did end up making these thermal handprint hoodies that I still have like 60 of them in a box, 2 boxes in my room. So if you guys, we'll put a clip right here. I'm kidding. This is a podcast. Anyways, go ahead and check those out.
We can actually probably put a picture.
We can negotiate prices. I just need to get rid of them because
they just need to leave.
it was my only viral TikTok ever. And then obviously, I started out as a craft project, so I didn't have the prints. But then by the time I made the prints, nobody wanted them anymore. So,
mind you, it was COVID.
right.
So it was like,
I'm a creative being.
So yeah, viral handprint hoodies.
Handprint hoodies. You want my hands on your titties? Let me know.
She's got you covered.
Got you covered, literally.
And thank you for listening.
Thank you so much for having me on your podcast, Haley.
Thanks for
really
being here. My
enjoyed
first
being here.
guest.
I know. I was really
Historic.
nervous. I was really nervous about it.
Me too.
I'm glad I did it. I had a lot of fun. And I love your podcast. Everybody, Haley has made such a big impact in my life. And I wanted to do this also because I knew that she would have great input because this is something that she has gone through and she is like a big sister to me. So I was hoping that she would also give me some good things to think about during this transitional period of my life, which I think I will definitely be listening back to this because I may or may not have blacked out, guys. I don't know. So
We're so happy that you're here.
Thank you.
Me,
And
everyone.
yeah, I love the pod, and I'm so proud of you
Thank you.
for starting the pod and really following through with it.
Word. I try.
Word up.
And maybe you'll just have to keep coming on because
Yeah, maybe we can actually talk about what we were trying to talk about and stay on a one track next time.
yeah.
And hopefully the audio was good, guys. I don't know. I have a shitty little podcast mic that my mom got me probably like 12 years ago.
No,
So
it's perfect. It's going to be great. It's going to be great. And yeah, just keep an eye out for the next time Kass is on the pod.
yeah,
I feel like we were entertaining.
I hope so. I hope you guys enjoyed. And if you want to be friends with me, add my socials.
And yeah, if you want to share your daily delights, we kind of like skipped over them a little bit, but it's great.
Yes, please. I love to read your guys' daily delights.
Everyone can see the comments. Like everyone wants to see what everyone has to say.
Post it for the world. Let everybody know that you're grateful for things.
Yeah. Let the world know that you're grateful for things. Put it out there.
Go
that part.
Go tell her right now. She's gonna bring it back to you in the best way. Just letting you know.
Exactly. See you next week.
Bye, guys.